Hello? Hello? Hi, Benny.
Hi, Manny. Nathan and Kinde are about to join.
Oh, okay. Kende was just in here. She must be coming back.
What's on the tripod?
That is I'll send it to you right now. That is a 360 camera. We are live streaming in 360 degrees on YouTube in the System Lab. Just trying out some technology. Hey, Benny. Hey, here comes Kende.
Hi, Manny.
I heard your voice and I thought it was not free here. I'm like, oh my gosh,
So- Yeah, ignore that.
Nathan and it's faster to
Okay, Kende was just in here.
switch in Polycon than to walk.
Yep. I am Kristen, so she'll know.
That is I'll send it to you right now.
I don't know.
That is a 360 camera. We are live streaming
It's almost like
60 degrees on YouTube in the System Lab. Just trying out some technology. Hey, Benny. Hey, here comes Kende.
I heard your voice and it's not free here. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So- Yeah, ignore that.
Nathan and it's faster to
Okay, Kende was just in here.
switch in Polycon than
Yep. I am Kristen, so she'll know.
That is I'll send it to you. That is a 360 camera. We are live streaming 60 degrees on YouTube. Just trying out some technology. Benny. Hey, here comes Kende.
I heard your voice and it's not free here. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So- Ignore that.
it's faster to
Oh, yeah.
Crash. DRQ nail down to the board.
I am Kristen, so she'll know.
That is I'll send it to you. 60 camera. We are live streaming 60 degrees on YouTube. Just trying out some technology. Hey, here comes Kende.
I heard your voice and it's not free here. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I was just telling her this is, ignore this. This is I'm testing live 360 streaming from YouTube. So, you're not being watched by the government or anything.
Right?
DRQ nail down to the board.
Okay. I am Kristen. What?
Yes?
I was pushing like this.
Oh,
I don't want to show up in that stuff.
that's the camera.
It's YouTube.
Oh, but it's not broadcast. It's only a few people internally.
Oh,
It's not over YouTube, Candy. So
okay.
you're not gonna go viral.
Okay.
Are we ready to start?
No.
Benny, can you hear us?
I hear you loud and clear. I don't see any display, but I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Nathan, can you?
Want to share anything?
You're not being watched by the government.
Next to DRQ nail down to the board.
Computer, and then what we want to share Kristen's comment, the one she connected on.
Okay. So I had gone through the design requirements for the fiducial board on Monday, Benny, and I just had some comments, clarifications
Like this.
that I thought we should
I don't want
address.
to show up in that stuff. It's YouTube.
Oh, but it's not.
So rather than go round and round,
Few people
can you
internally.
set up the meeting so we can all agree together?
So you're not gonna go viral.
Can you see this? Okay. Can you
we
see it,
ready to
Nathan?
Yeah, I see the email
Benny, can you
very,
hear
Very long
I
one.
hear you loud and clear. I don't see any small phones.
Okay. Nathan.
Was that last week?
Want to share
It was
anything?
Monday that I
Monday,
sent my
okay.
comments.
And what we want to share Kristen's.
I don't know, we discussed them in detail Monday afternoon. So I had gone through the design requirements for the fiducial board on Monday, Betty, And I just had some.
And I don't know if you've made any changes or suggestions
that I
since
thought we
then,
should
but.
address.
I think the meeting will be more
Oh, man, it's not.
So rather than go round and round to these up and these, we can all agree together.
Well, I can tell you what I'm thinking, and
Can you see his name?
I talked it over this morning with Tracy and with Jenny as well, because we think we need to be consistent how we're handling like the location board for the Loomis site and
Monday that I sent my
device as well.
Okay.
So you can go through
I
that
know we
whenever you're
discussed them
ready.
in detail Monday afternoon. So I had gone through the, design requirements for the fiducial board, Betty, and I just had.
And I don't know if you've made any changes or suggestions.
I thought we should address.
Yeah.
So rather than go round and round to these up and these.
Oh,
we all
so let's,
agree
should we
together.
start
I
with
can tell you
flatness,
what
Penny?
I'm thinking.
Or what about
Or
compatibility?
compatibility? So there's a heading in the document that says compatibility,
Jenny as well.
yet in our other rationale, on other cells, we mentioned compatibility
Loomis site,
for specific, measurements or materials.
so.
And that kind of left this one dry for having a heading that says compatibility, but
So
nothing
I
to
had
describe.
gone through the,
So
design
what,
requirements for the
say that compatibility falls under the
No,
The physical location board, we have one model and possibly a second older style model.
compatibility
So there's a heading in the
for
document that says
example,
compatibility, yet in our other
so
rationale,
when we
on
discussed
other
this,
cells,
the last time I was
compatibility
thinking that what we decided is that we want to put
measurements or materials.
that language on the
And that kind of left this one
existing
dry.
requirement that's already proven compatibility, because when we say compatibility with location, but we're looking at almost three things: mountain, dimension, and
Physical
flatness.
location board.
So,
yeah,
do we
one
just
model
want to
and
include
possibly
in the
a second.
rationale ensures compatibility with AA27 and the other one, rather than writing a new compatibility requirement that really is just looking at these two?
So add it to the ones you already have written
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with that too, as long, I think if you do that, you could, in the very beginning of the document, say that the intention is for this to be used with AAS 0027-01 and the older model LB that's out there. And then you could include that in your requirements, the ones that are affected, you could say with designated location board. And then you've only defined it once in the beginning,
I like that.
and then
Okay.
state it
Yeah.
later.
Okay. Looks
So
like we
you're
have a,
taking notes, right?
Are you okay with that, Benny?
The very beginning of the document,
so
say
you
that
say that the compatibility will not be part of this
with AAS
specific requirement, but just for the header?
No, I'm saying that in the very, that it basically, the document intro, you state that, the intent of this is to be compatible with the two models of location boards. And then in the specific requirements, the flatness, the dimensional, and the materials that you say, to be, you include the language in that requirement as required for compatibility with designated location boards.
You're taking notes.
And then you wouldn't have anything specifically in that compatibility header, because then you have to define how is it compatible, which you've already done in other requirements. So it sort of captures that indirectly.
No, I'm saying that
in the very,
without having to reorganize it.
document intro, you
Also,
state
is
that,
there any
the
harm in
intent of
just,
this is to
go
be
ahead,
compatible with the two models of location boards. And then in the specific requirements,
No, I am even thinking that those three that I identified, can't we just leave it under compatibility? So that no one is looking for where the compatibility for
compatibility
Yeah,
with
no, I'm fine
designated
with that.
location.
Just move it under
Then you're not,
compatibility and
you
still
wouldn't have
keep
anything
all that you
specifically in
said.
there
To just
compatibility
ease of
header,
finding what are the
because then you have to
compatibility.
define
I
how it's
think I
you've already done in other requirements. It sort of captures that indirectly.
No, I'm saying that in the very,
Without having to reorganize the document intro,
move on.
state
So you don't have to change, just move them,
two models of location.
Yeah, it's not changing them, it's
And then in the
just
specific
changing where they're
requirements,
organized under this compatibility
No,
tab
I am
and
even
listing the
thinking that
models.
Right.
those three that,
Say,
can't we just leave it under
like,
compatibility? So that no. One is looking for where are the
So flatness, we discussed, we discussed, right now, David Olson is looking at the board to see if it fits on our inspection plate, with our drop height here. That would be helpful, because then we can do testing faster. The intent is that the board is flat when installed, so we can put a number to it, meaning a total indicated range on measurement device, or visual, what we want measured.
I think as I said, it's a total indication range. Total indication range. I haven't used that term for a long time.
So should we just take out the first part of this requirement about similar flatness and just say
So flatness,
that the SMB shall be compliant
right
enough
now,
to
David
take your
Olson is
numbers
looking at the board to
when
see
you
the
get
inspection
them?
plate to be flat within
These are
this
that,
range
rather than
when
because-
installed on.
Because our comment is I don't see any flatness specification for LD, so let's take that out. But just let's make sure that we're saying when it's assembled.
A number
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
and a total indicated
I think there's a version of that the device should have addresses of 6,000 I think when assembled to the location board.
Oh, you have that?
6,000?
Is that somewhere written?
Where's that from?
I think I had that in one of the versions.
Similar flatness and just say that the SMB shall be compliant enough
Let
to
me check
take
my
your numbers when you get them.
To be flat
my
These
draft.
are that, rather
when
than
installed on.
because our comment is I don't see any flatness specification for LD, so let's take that out. But just let's make sure that it's assembled.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I think there's a version of that the device should have addresses of 6,000 when assembled to the location board.
Oh, you have that?
6,000?
Is that somewhere written?
I think I had that in one of the versions.
Flatness and just say
This seems to be the latest.
shall be compliant enough
Let me check my.
Sorry, this does or does not appear?
I mean, the version that I see right now is the one that has the same.
but just let's
It's the same version from
Yeah, I'm fine with
Fieldfest, but I do remember that I did make that change. So
Now,
let me look for a different
Is that
different
somewhere?
draft.
so with the limited contact area of the clip to the location board, I would caution on something as tight as 6,000 unless it's demonstrated needed. So that's really just, okay, all right. A millimeter and a half, 60,000?
60, yeah.
Oh, okay. 6,000, keep the half in favor, okay.
We're just trying to make your job more
Okay.
challenging, Nathan.
Thank you, Benny, we got it. I think, yep. I think that's a much better way. We have a number, we'll have a method that we can use to measure that, and it reflects the intent of that the board is flat when installed. Other than that, it can droop a little bit, it can rest on the table. That's really just, alright, I think that's very good. Millimeter,
Cleanability. We're just trying to make, okay, so here's our thoughts on cleanability. So we were talking about this because we want to be consistent too with like the Illuma site location board and everything. But we don't want to, as soon as we start talking about cleaning, we have to say, well, how clean is clean? And how do you measure that it's clean? And it gets really messy. So our thoughts on it are that this device really doesn't have to be clean, that it is under the mattress, that it is non-patient contact, that at least to my understanding, Benny, chime in here, is it ever clean? Do customers actually clean the location board?
I hardly know that, but I think what we mean in cleanability, it's the
Here's our
ability
thoughts on
of the
cleanability.
device
So we were talking
to
about
be
this. We want to be
washed with
consistent.
alcohol and not be damaged.
So here's
And
what
I
I
don't
would
think
like
we
the
need
site
to make
location board and
300
everything.
lines.
I
I
agree.
think what should
I think we should look how it's specified for the PST.
As soon as we start talking
Yeah.
about. I think that's actually different, and I don't think we wanna go there. I think this is, got, and I'm agreeing with you. We should take out the
Our
300
thoughts
times.
on it are that
What we
this
should
is-
do on this one is, this is my opinion,
that it is
is
under
make this
the
as
mattress,
easy on
that
ourselves
it
as
is
possible.
non-patient
Not talk about
contact,
cleaning, talk
that,
about
at
compatibility
least to my
with
understanding,
70%
Betty,
ethanol.
here, is that
So
if
saying that the
customers
material
actually
must
clean the
be
location board,
compatible with 70% ethanol, so it doesn't show crazing, damage, etc. Because then we know that it can be wiped down if needed. And then I think we should also, in my opinion, put some sort of requirement in here about designing the board to have a smooth,
here's
flat
what-
surface to be able to be wiped down. But I don't wanna go with cleaning, I don't wanna have to do a cleaning validation, I don't think that's necessary. And as soon as we start going down
I
that
think
language
that's-
path,
and
it
I don't
opens
think
up a
we
lot
wanna
of
go there. I think
definitions
that-
and discussion, so.
and I'm agreeing
if-
with you.
And I don't think it's
should take
necessary
out
unless
our
you tell me
times on
differently.
it are that
What we want to do.
is make this as easy on ourselves as possible, not talk about
And that's where,
talk about compatibility.
On the language of the location board and do the exact same requirement and verification.
and what we're saying is we might wanna change the one for the location board to be this way.
Compatible
Because-
with 70%
So the
ethanol,
FDA's
so it
been
doesn't
cracking
show
down in the last
damage,
couple of years
etc.
on cleaning
Because then we
validation.
know that it can be
And
wiped down
if you,
Needed.
and you have to
And then I
characterize
think we should
your
also, in
device
my
as
opinion,
to
put
how
some
it's
sort of
used.
about
And if your thought on this
designing
is,
the
we
board
don't want to have to, we wanna
have
be very clear, it doesn't
a
fall
smoother
into any of the
surface to be able
reusable,
to
reprocessable requirements of the FDA.
But I don't wanna go with
which
cleaning, I
then
don't wanna have to do a
go
cleaning
down a path of
validation,
we
I
have to
don't
have a
think
cleaning
that's necessary,
validation.
and as soon as we
So
start going
we're
down
better
that
off
path,
unless
opens up a lot of
someone tells me that it's necessary to clean this device after every
And I
single
don't think it's
use.
necessary unless
We don't wanna call, we don't wanna go down this path.
is make this as easy on ourselves as possible, not
As you
talk
said,
about
it's not
and that's where
talk about compatibility.
Right.
So I don't think it falls under.
And what we're saying is we might wanna change the one for the location board to be this way. Because, so the FDA's been cracking down in the last couple of years on cleaning validation.
Then we know that it can be
And, right, which is just like you said, it's a compatibility device as to how it's used. And if you're, we don't want to have to have very clear, this is all the reusable, reprocessable requirements of the FDA.
But I don't wanna go with
which
cleaning.
then going down and actually have to have a cleaning validation. So, someone tells me that it's necessary to clean this device after every single use. You don't want to call, right, that's what I agree with, and that's what I was saying, that the materials must be compatible with 70% ethyl alcohol solution, period. So then we don't say it can be cleaned 80 times, 100 times, every time.
My comment with this incompatible
So
with
the FDA
this agent is that what is the definition?
I would say if you can document, it's a compatibility data sheet. A lot of times the vendors provide that information, that it is compatible with certain other materials.
But I don't wanna go with that, going down and actually have to clean
The MSDS sheet. Yeah. Right, that's what I agree, and that's what I was saying, materials must be compatible with 70% ethyl alcohol solution, period. So then we don't say it can be 80 times, every time.
It's possible it might be in a cell sheet
I
for
would document, it's a compatibility
all the polymer offerings from one
provide that information, that it is compatible with, or
But if that's not, like it's described as,
yeah, that or the tech sheet, or if it's not in any of those, you could then
The MSDS sheet.
10 whites with 70% ethyl alcohol, that nothing, there was no crazing, etc.
So I think
Now with the sheet that says it's good compatibility or limited damage or something like that. Is that enough to essentially verify? You might not be in that.
I don't think that covers it. The reason why I said I don't think it covers it is that the FMB is not just the ethylyte. The FMB is a lot more. It's about the labeling. Right. It's about the compatibility of the ingredients. Labeling material compatibility of it's just the 10%. So that does it, but if we go the 10 white additional, we can now cover the heavy.
Yeah, then I would do something like that, write it that way, so must be able to withstand, you know, 10 whites with 70% ethyl alcohol without creating any damage to the material labels, etc.
Okay, all right. Now, you mentioned a smooth surface with minimal crevices.
That was just a thought.
Okay, I think crevices bring
I don't think
things
that
up
covers
to the
it.
front
That's why I
again.
said I don't think it
I'll
covers
see
ethylyte. I thought we had the language of we should not scratch and the labeling should not. I thought we already had that in the rationale. Even that was
but then elsewhere in the document, minor
That's what I'm
wrinkles,
saying. You can now-
minor
Yeah,
lifting, all that.
then
is
I would
right.
do something like that,
For what?
write it that
For the
way, so must
packaging,
be able to
not for
withstand,
printing,
you
right?
know. Well, because as soon as you start wiping down, then you can see where you're gonna have issues. And so, except,
Well, for, if you were to
This is
apply
the
a soil
under-
and check it, this is the top.
that's the top.
So this would have stainless steel flathead screws.
That was
But
really
other,
thought.
okay, would be different, but other than that, the marker balls go in the bottom, then just get repeated with one
Right.
large, okay?
Right.
And then we get our patient orientation decal that will probably be blue or other treatments. And then somewhere, a label item that gives
Right.
so 1, 2, 3 adhesive labels, one very large one that's thicker, I think. But I don't know that we are
Well,
planning
because
to
as soon as you
cover
start wiping down, then you can see issues. And so, except, can I see that? This is
apply
the
soil
under.
The flathead screws are more flush, but they do have the Phillips head gap around the diameter. And then those larger openings are open.
Because this basically would fail you in any sort of cleanability right there. Which that's again why I said we gotta say that we're not,
Yep.
I mean, because you're gonna, they hose this down, they're not gonna be able to, given the protocols, get into these crevices. So I guess,
3 adhesive labels, one very
So
large
today we are, right now, based on
But I don't
our
know that
recent
we
discussion,
are-
we already said compatibility with the engine, right?
Yep.
And the other thing we were saying is, what will be the definition of compatibility? Can we go to cleanability, the rationale on cleanability? Can you go down a little? I think we have a rationale that this ensures that it's clean by up to 2 hours. I don't, maybe we 2 hours service like.
no, I would get out, I would take that out. You have, yeah, we gotta do that again, why I
So it would
said
be
we gotta say that we're not,
compatible with other.
you're gonna, they hose this down, they're not gonna be able to, given the protocols, get
Wipe
into
down or what?
But for wipe down, if
If
needed.
needed.
Can you right now,
still by
based
the
on
hospital
our
staff?
recent discussion, we
Yes,
already
that's
said
completely
compatibility.
fine. But I think what we're saying
Other
is,
thing
and,
we're saying is
in
the
that
definition of compatibility.
beginning, the very intro to the document, again, say how it's used. Define that, you know, this isn't cleaned on a regular basis. It's not cleaned after every patient leaves. And I did send out a couple of emails. I wanted to just
It's not a
confirm
single
that,
use,
but-
it's not, cleaning after every use is not necessary.
It says, supply sterile, it's not.
The way to do that is to go back with that hand and pour it, make sure you disclaim also on them, kind of.
Exactly. For wipe down.
Clearly, if needed. Not,
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
not focusing too much on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That's But I
Now,
think
we had
what we're saying
discussions
is,
2 days ago on
intro to the document, again,
service life
say
or
how
useful
it's
life.
used.
Right now, we
Define
have
that, you know,
shelf
this
life
isn't cleaned on a
and
regular basis.
reliability as.
And I did send out a couple of emails. I wanted to just
It's not a
confirm
single
that,
use,
but-
it's not cleaning after every
you know, with this board taking
Exactly.
the map is clearly the service area is falling in contact with it. I don't see any testing happening, just sitting on.
So Benny, the whole idea on this was defining service life is more of a documentation requirement. You know, everything has to have a service life defined so that we know how long we have to retain all of the manufacturing records. So do you have any thoughts on that? I mean, our system has it's sort of arbitrary to some degree. We define the system service life as 5 years. To me, it would make sense to have the same for the fiducial board.
I think it's the same as location board. If location board taking service life from the system, that should be the same.
Everything has to
Does the location board have that as a requirement for the
know how
location
long
board
we have to
to be
retain
though?
all of the. So I don't know how those two things captured in our requirements.
Because like, if
I
you,
don't think it
Any thoughts on that?
I don't think it is specifically on the location
Our
board
system has,
requirement. The location board requirement is a very small subset of DRQ
I know.
249. I think there will only be 10 requirements there.
but DRQ 249 says that the system will have a service life of 5 years, or be maintained for 5 years, I believe.
Yes, it could, because
I don't remember.
he is just saying that the requirements in 249 that only as it pertains to the location board are about 10 of them and the 7
Yeah, but as part of the system, it gets interpreted as the system service life is 5 years, and the location board is part of the system. So therefore, every component of the system has to have a minimum service life of 5 years, is how we.
So since this one is packaged separately, are we going to just be saying that it's part of the system then? And just leave it at that?
Well, I guess that 49 says, it's
don't
an
have-
accessory to the system at this point,
Right.
I believe.
Yes, it
Not,
could,
nothing's
because
coming to mind about
He is
what
just saying that the
we
requirements
could do
in
to
249 that only as it pertains to the
Yeah, but as part of the system, it gets interpreted as the system. Could you
for
do-
something that's generally going to stay put.
I was gonna say, can you do every component of the system, can you basically use a failure argument saying that there are no components of the board that are,
Are we going to
subject
just be saying that it's
to
part of the system then? And just leave it at that?
electrical failure, mechanical, you know, obviously the only thing that you really have to worry about is the clamps if they, right? And I know like so it's the attachment to the
Nothing's
board.
coming to mind.
And I know like for the, some of the other products, like cables, we do flex testing to X cycles, like 300 cycles, because we think it's gonna be, used
So
300
normally
times
when
in the
you-
5 years. Could you do anything like that with your hinges, your attachment mechanism? Can you basically use a failure argument saying that? I like making your life hard.
Just so you know, the MBTF is basically what I'm hearing, and it's not something that just anyone does. Most of the time, the reliability engineers are the ones that are able to do it. Really,
Obviously they have to meet by MBTF.
Usually, the MBTF leans on the
Right.
most
And I know like
the
for.
most weakest
so it's the
point
attachment
in that
to the board.
component.
And I know
Because
like
saying,
for
at
some of the
what
other
time,
products.
between what time can this thing
flex testing
fails?
at X
To
cycles.
gather failure data, variable data, I think is
So
really
normally when you
not a good idea.
Not practical.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's not gonna be required to be US at all. So, I like making we have to, the data will not be required or
So
requested.
can the intended service life, does it have to be a requirement that is verified or validated? Or can it be
Or should you just put it at body of the
that the
document?
intent of the product system, including software, hardware, and along with the console is, stated, but it doesn't have to.
Usually, the MBTF leans on the
Right.
most
And I know like
the
for.
most weakest
Is it
point.
the right way to do it? Probably not. Could it be done or have it been done? Yes.
Gather failure data.
So, this is one that I know is we're not, and I'll tell you, it's not gonna be required because anything, so, because this can be replaced and it's part of a service. I think we would maybe we can write in the document that the intent is for, this product to have a 5-year service life and be replaced as needed through regular technical service appointments or something to that effect.
That'll be
I think that's what I would choose.
And then the replacement team should remain designed to be able to
So, I mean,
stand alone
this
without
one
the
that I
company.
know is. So, but I think just to keep in mind though, when we move to like a LUMI site and we're looking at something that's gonna have more international distribution,
Yeah.
we're gonna probably need to.
The good thing with the Lumi site is, by Lumi site is no longer a standalone.
Inside the board,
Oh, perfect.
as far as the board.
Perfect. So then we don't have to worry about these kinds of things. So for the US, I think we'd be okay doing it.
Okay, so, but do you think it should
Service appointments or something to that
be listed
effect.
here? And we should say 5-year
I
service
think
life,
that's what I would.
And then
that is
replacement
replaceable, any needed, any replacement needed.
so don't just say 5 years, say the 5 years is gotten as part of the system, right?
Right, so this doesn't have to last 5 years.
The good thing with the Lumi site, by Lumi site is no longer
Supported
a
and
standalone.
maintained.
Oh, perfect. Something like that. Let's do that. Perfect.
Okay, I think that's,
And we would put it up in the, again, the intro to the document, not in the portion. So you don't have to verify it.
Yeah.
I think that fits, replaceable.
So for this project, I think that's acceptable.
This will be mistake over
I'm just being easy today.
So this doesn't have to last 5 years.
The big wins that, okay, we said we'll combine the two.
So
Something like
are
that.
these acceptable on anywhere on the solid labels on the
And we
board?
would put it
So this language caught
again,
me,
the intro to the
but it is for the package.
It's only for the package.
That's for the package labeling,
Because
right?
they're going to be doing their
Right.
heating and
Yeah.
impact.
So we put our labels on and write down with alcohol and we expect no damage, grazing, no methane on the label. Now this I'll speak with Jeff, right? So
That
So you
was
have
Or if you want
fine.
to
protocols
do
all
it
set.
in
Cycle
No,
13.
I'm gonna leave it alone and
Yep.
give it to him. In
That
fact,
one.
I'm hoping
Okay.
he takes over the PO and I'll interact with them more back around town.
No, but this one is the requirement for this thing.
No, it was the other one that I was questioning, the very last one.
Yeah, well, I thought we thought we
We
were
put our
going to
labels on and write down with alcohol.
Right. Yeah, this is the one I didn't get.
Oh,
we thought we were going to just combine this thing with the sheeting
we
one.
know, we were gonna speak with Jeff. Yes,
I'll
we
call
didn't,
it
we didn't check with Jeff.
That was fine. But this one, Betty, I just didn't know how you were gonna verify it.
He takes over the PO.
The very last environmental conditions that it operates in the following conditions. No, it was the other one that I was questioning, the very last.
Yeah, well,
We put our labels on and write down with alcohol.
Right. Yeah, this is the one I didn't get.
Theoretically, we can test it, just, it's a pain, I mean, we put it in a chamber and measure functional tests. Do the measurements within the chamber, but
this is something they already do as part of packaging. So they already do it.
So I didn't see this as necessary, I guess is my point. I mean, the environmental conditions, you know, you're gonna validate that it functions in the conditions under use, which is, you know.
So,
And
so I agree with you.
I know that historically the system was tested in a temperature chamber. It's for the computer concept in the chamber. Just for individual component. Do the measurements within the.
This is something they already do as part of packaging.
I would like to eliminate
So I didn't see this as necessary.
we're
Point.
testing the board for the mechanical side of
You're
it,
gonna validate
as well
that
as
it
the software
functions
side at a
in
later
the
time point
conditions under
after
use,
distribution.
which is,
Covers, broader ranges.
And-
I don't think we have a good handle of what it would take or what kind of vendors we need to get involved with and what kind of environmental chambers we need to commission to do this.
Any question pops up, first of all, we can do an analysis and say that this is made from a certain material that other component, other.
So we know.
So
we know. For the requirements where this is, is for movable equipment that is less than 150. As long as you're in those two, you have to do it in the packaging.
The
Right, yeah.
packaging,
Yeah.
but not operation.
The packaging is, shipping is
Separate.
one thing, and these are different conditions, because shipping you do, I think minus 20 plus 30,
Right.
something like that. That's completely different, ranges, but you don't have this, it's at least ranges. You send it over, and then you bring it back and do your function.
Right.
This is meaning that you do the function within the space. It's just an over, it's an overhead, there's no,
Movable equipment that the reason why I agree with you is because the FMB does not have any electronics within it.
Right, but not
So-
operation.
Yeah, humidity, operating temperature, all that
Because
is
you
kind
would
of.
want to make sure that the LB can function in this kind of environment, but the FMB doesn't have any electrical functioning except for what
So
it
we
is.
can eliminate this board is designed to be used in a addition suite or house program setting.
Can never be used in
this is meaning that you do
That was the first statement.
and if you read it, that's what it says, the ambient temperature, 15 to 35. If you go to a hospital in Africa, it might be 35 in the room, and the humidity again, and the atmospheric pressure, probably not designed for La Paz, but the rest of the world probably.
Well, if it's in this specific location, we have to find a test for it or a data sheet, and I don't think we can do either part. But we'll take this out and discuss it.
Taking this out, and if any issue come up, first of all, we include analysis. If the test is required, then we go for analysis with the test. It might be
I
35.
don't think it'll be.
So let's
required.
come back here then. Looks like when you were talking, it looks like the FMB could actually have to be used in these kinds of environmental conditions. Is that what I just heard?
Pressure.
I know that this project is saying that we are putting this in US, right? Is this something that we can experience in
The
ACOA?
rest of the world
This
probably.
environmental conditions.
Well, is the numbers and elevation location we have to find numbers. All of that environmental limitations would come from the console, and we should leave it alone on this board. You can do either part. It seems
And the number comes from the ASTM. That's what it is. That's where they come from. And the letter says it was about to meet the ASTM specific clause, but I don't remember that.
My concern is if we are going to ever experience these conditions, we should make sure that it can work under these conditions. I mean, it's just
But it's-
one
So
requirement,
let's come back
and I
here
don't know
then.
what would
You
be
were
the
talking, it looks
overhead
like the
to
FMB
actually take it out and
actually
then
have to
be used in this
I,
kind
I'm
of
sorry, you mean this one?
environmental conditions.
This is a
That's
huge
what I-
undertaking. We
I
have
know
to take
that
a C-arm
this
and a
project is
console
saying that we are
into a
putting
large
this in US,
automotive
right?
size
Is
temperature
this-
chamber.
So it's
And
almost
And then
like a
change the
system
humidity and the
thing.
temperature. This is not long.
This is a system thing, right? Are you doing this for the system thing? Because it's
All
not
of that
having service.
environmental,
It's not over it's not,
the console, and we should leave it alone on this board.
the effect of the system is, and the number comes from if you take, I'm not sure that they would put the CR, I don't know what happens with the CR with the 35 degrees.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm worried about that.
So I think-
So it's not tested with the CR, so I don't know whether they put it the CR. I think we better not taking it out.
It's just
So
one
let's
requirement.
come back
And
here.
as you said, somewhere in the header say that it's designed to, it's a
I'm sorry, you mean this one?
mechanical,
I know that this project is saying that we are
Into a
putting
large,
this in
add on to it, temperature chamber.
So it's almost like a system.
designed to work in
This
a
is a system.
hospital environment.
Are you doing this for the
I agree.
All right, anything else?
It's not,
I think we've made
That's
huge
the bottom
progress.
line.
Okay.
All right,
All of us are doing this except
I think this was very helpful.
Very helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Benny.
Looks like we'll be able to route.
Penny and I will move some of the cells around, eliminate random conditions, add to the intro, describing wipe down or change the cleanability to wipe down compatible if needed.
Yes.
And move the environmental to more of a description of how and where this is used.
Make sure we can affect changes so it'll be easy for us to put it into the TFS and then
Okay.
populate it again.
Are you doing this one?
Do you have time later this afternoon after lunch? Because I think we should just do it today and round. Since
In another 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
be able to round.
Thanks, Betty. Have a good one. I was just starting to review that. I did. I just was stuck in meetings, so, but I'll do it right now.
Environmental to more of
And
a
hopefully that'll, well, maybe not.
Because, yeah, just, I think the only person who has
So, I just had a question on this. What's the purpose of these holes? Is this the manufacturing of the base? Is that to help align it and cut it, or hold it while you're doing the markers, or? Yeah, that's fine. Thanks, Benny. Have a good one. I don't like those holes from a standpoint, and again, we can't, like, I was just starting to review that. I did. But that's the kind of thing you don't want. If you can avoid it. Right now. And hopefully that'll,
I think we are still in a design mode. Because, yeah, just, I think the only person who has took him, I think it took him about 3.5 hours to put that together.
I just had a question on this. What's the purpose of these?
My packaging mock-up. The movable tabs are assembly.
Is this the manufacturing of the base? Is that to help align it and cut it, or hold it while you're doing the markers, or? Yeah, that's fine.
So that's why we have the
We
whole
have to
on
do the
the
whole
board.
thing and have, what, 2 millimeters of space travel? To be able to.
I was just starting to review that. I did. That's the kind of thing you don't want.
We are going up and down, up and down.
I see.
No, fixed side, but more resembles this. I suppose we could take those out, I guess we don't know for sure. So this appears to be a remnant of having those clips on all 4 corners that are movable. We could consider filling these, not drilling these, but I don't know that we know.
I'm
for sure
thinking
where.
that you might need to drill but not through. Is it possible? So that's why we have that. Maybe we get a higher length for this to give it space to go up and down.
Then it will be below the location where we have to
Going
stay.
up and down.
That, because we get additional.
So,
You're right.
Fixed side, more resembles this.
this is where, I mean,
Suppose we could take
again,
those out,
we're
I guess
not
we don't
saying
know
that this
for
has to
sure.
be past cleanable, because that would fail right there. All this, these corners are this is, and these hinges, I mean, you could figure have to do a clean
Appears to be. Yep.
So, I think that's where it just becomes really important that we state it appropriately.
Consider.
So, and I think that's how it's used, so I think we're good, unless I
I'm
did
thinking that you
email
might need to
the,
drill but not
couple
through.
people in Medtronic that are,
Is it possible?
cleaning validation experts to
What
verify.
get a higher
And I emailed Kelly Johnson to verify that this isn't cleaned on a regular basis.
Oh, okay.
To just, again, just create the documentation in the case, and then we should be good. So,
Okay, that's good.
yeah.
That was really good thinking
is
about
where-
compatibility with the agent rather
Again,
than
we're not saying
things.
past cleanable, because that would fail right there.
We have
All
actually
these
stated that
corners
it can be cleaned indirectly.
and these hinges, that's what I was thinking, so. Okay, good. I think that's right. And then I'll go through the DRQ right now and get back with you. Here, I gotta grab mine. And get back to you if I've got any. Unless I can email, so anything else you need today?
For me, yeah, for the VSP will be you on mine.
Yeah, and that's
So
fine,
if
because
we're,
I've seen that.
so if we're able to round, oh, you're not here, the rest of the week.
But I can, if I know it's coming, I can log in.
You
from
can log
home.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be nice.
So I can.
So if it's
I
not
always do
in
that.
today, it should be in tomorrow.
Okay, so I'll just look for it and, I mean, it should be
Since
pretty
you're here on
easy.
Wednesdays, you don't join our book club?
Oh, you have a book club?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
it's
that.
not me necessarily, it's people it's
And then
friends
also,
of you and
uh-huh,
today we're starting this new book called Confidence Connect.
uh-huh,
And even people on the
and I get back to you if I've got it. Uh-huh,
it's on Wednesdays for this book.
oh, okay.
So if it's something you can join, you can also, if you want to
Yeah.
do it, I join online. I can forward to you. But
Sure, I
and they gave
if I
this
know
book
it's
for
coming, I can
free.
log in.
I think Caroline might still have a copy. So if it's to read before
Okay, so I'll just look for it. You know, usually, I'll be honest, I try to focus on getting work done tonight since I'm only here 2 days a week. Taking an
So even
hour
your
out
lunch
of
is
my
too
lunch,
much.
I usually don't take, I usually just eat and keep working because I just run out of time. So I think I'm gonna pass. I do actually like it. I'm in a book club. Okay.
You were.
Yeah, my book coming in tonight over my regular monthly book club.
Okay, that's good too.
So so I do love to read, but I think I'm gonna pass on it here. But thank you for the advice. All right.
Yeah.
I
And they gave this book for free. I might still have a copy. So if it's to read before.
So I'll just look for it. You know, usually I'll be honest, I try to focus
So
on
Nathan, should we meet at 1?
taking an
So even
hour
your
out
lunch
of
is
my
too
lunch.
much.
I usually don't take, I usually just
Yeah, if you send me the files
run
again.
out of time. So I think I'm gonna. I do actually like it. I'm in a book club.
Okay, that's good too.
So I do love to read, but I think on it here. But thank you for the advice. All right.
Yeah.
I
They gave this book for free. I might still have a copy. So if it's to read
you know, usually I'll be honest, I try to.
So Nathan, we meet at 1. So even your lunch is too much.
I usually don't take.
Yeah, if you send me the files
Email from Efrat with
Okay, that's good too.
So I do love to read, but I think on it here. But thank you for the advice.
Yeah.
so if you go out of
Okay.
So Nathan, we meet at 1. So even your lunch is too much.
Okay, but if you have the design, yep, did you get one made or two? Okay.
That's good too.
Okay. Yep. Do you know, did it, have you tried it on a vacuum with the
Okay.
So Nathan, we meet at 1.
Okay, but if you have the design, yep, did you get one made or two?
Experiencing issues with the drive that are in the for Saturday with the system. When I first brought this drive in,
Do you know, did it, have you tried it on a vacuum with
software Windows. Oh, I think that's the other drive. That's from the other.
Okay, but if you have the design, yep, did you get one?
Nope, I just formatted it. Yeah, I had to format it on FAT32 for that one. Whatever for that didn't shoot. Could've just been yeah, that's the ones that, Brad sent me out of the 8. That's what it is. Great, thanks, appreciate it. You know what to look for, stick later. All right, I'll be about that again.
Okay, I can take a look.
Yeah, that's.
All right,
the ones
so
that,
that's two, I understand. And then just send me the email.
all right,
For the post, on the correction verification page, does that, here we were using 5/8
again.
inside Delrin Dowell. Okay, I can take a look.
Yeah, that's.
All right, so that's two, okay. For the post, on the correction verification page, does that, here we were using 5/8
Again.
inside Delrin Dowell. Yep. Yep. Okay, so that's two. For the post,
Hello? 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 Hey, John.
Hey, it's Helen.
Good, you? Hey, John.
Hey, it's Helen.
Good. Hey, John. Good.
Here, mine.
What's
I
that?
mean,
Stampede?
besides you.
Just me.
So people are gonna be watching me in here now, huh? So you're telling me?
Well, I mean, I only sent it out to like half dozen people, so it's not like the whole thing.
That's kinda cool.
Trying to figure out how to make it faster. It's a bit of a delay.
Oh boy. Alright. Who all is supposed to be here? Carolyn, Keith, Adam, Michael. Where's everybody? And so still eating lunch?
I mean, besides you. So people are gonna be watching me in here now.
I was just be
Well,
careful.
I mean, I was sitting out there, I have to.
Is there a delay?
Yeah. There is. That's what I'm trying to, it's probably just limited by our traffic in there here.
So if I sit like right here, you can't see me, right?
No, it's called a 360 camera for a reason.
You can see me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a, oh, there you go. Great.
Is this just another toy?
Yeah, it's kind of the, as soon as I figured out how to get fast enough, it's kind of the predecessor to having like virtual reality case support, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
so I'm just trying to, this is like the smallest, the easiest one to implement.
Yeah.
And then once I can get this
So
moving
people are gonna be
fast,
watching me.
I'll move on. Wow, where's that from?
I forget which place, Food Speed.
Oh, it's food. Okay.
From
Is that the place that did our lunch yesterday? You're right.
Living something?
Yeah, Living Waters.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So if I sit like right here, you can't see me,
You
right?
know, it's called a 360 camera for a reason.
You can see me?
Yeah, that's what that is.
Where did you?
You have a meeting at 1?
Yeah, he's got a, oh, there, I don't know where everybody is.
I live with him. I actually, I thought you talked to him. He's over in hardware, and maybe he doesn't know it. Yeah.
He knows.
He knows. He knows. Oh my gosh, yes, he knows. Virtual reality case.
I'll walk around in a minute. See what's there.
Yeah, cool. So I'm just trying to, this is like the smallest, the easiest one. to
Talking
implement.
at him.
And once I can get this fast, I'll move on.
I don't typically like to eat on camera, but
Oh, it's sweet.
if I must.
But it's, the only people watching you are probably me and
Yeah.
that's it. So I can watch you eat live or with like a 10-second delay.
You can watch me eat twice.
Yeah.
gonna be
Ooh,
great.
wonder if it's quite as good as the one you took 15 seconds ago.
There you are.
I'm hungry. I didn't bring lunch.
Oh, bring your lunch in here.
I would.
Oh, you don't have it.
He knows. Oh my
I
God.
ordered food because
Oh.
I knew that I was.
There's there's Chinese food down in the where the coffee cart is. And there's quite a bit left.
If there's an extra
There is.
I'm
There's
gonna
several.
run over there.
Okay, so it's in the cafeteria?
No,
No,
where
it's
the
right
food, where the food, coffee cart sets up. Good. Nope.
Okay. You want to come, Frank?
I
I
must.
mean, everyone already.
But it's the only people watching me. And that's it. So I can watch you eat live or with like a 10-second delay.
You can watch me eat twice.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Ooh,
great.
wonder if it's quite as good as the one you took 15 seconds ago. Is that a good salad? Is that peanut dish?
Green got it. Oh, you don't have it.
Oh, wow. There's yoga in the morning. Nice healthy salad for lunch.
And
There's quite a bit left.
if there's an extra,
There is.
I'm gonna run over there.
Okay, so it's in the
I think if I
cafeteria?
no, where the food, where the food, coffee cart sets. Oh, it was different. They ordered in for the meeting with the trust executive that I was in. But it wasn't Living Waters, it was some of the start. Equally good. It's the same place that has that detox salad, which,
Yeah, what is that place?
yeah, I forgot. That's the best salad in the world. Well, you eat. I'm watching you eat. Is that a good salad? Is that a meatless salad?
Yeah.
Wow.
Father had it. I think it had a Greek salad.
Nice healthy salad for lunch. There's quite a bit
Forget
left.
which grain on it. But it's supposed to have grain run under there. It does
Okay,
not.
so it's in the cafeteria?
No, where the food,
What happened to
Oh, they ordered in for the community as well. Equally good. The same place that has that detox salad, which. Yeah, I forgot. That's the best salad. Yeah, the only people watching right now are me, on this and that computer, and Kate probably. Well, you're among friends, what you saying now?
I did just see her hovering over the food. Hopefully she just heard me say that.
Yeah. There's Keith.
Hi. People are trickling in.
Trickling. I'm just trickling. Well, it is raining out. So
And
that makes sense.
I feel like I was
Ooh, there
really
were
jazzed
noodles?
up for the meeting, and now I'm just tired.
You did really good. Thanks for leading that.
I didn't see broccoli.
That was a good meeting.
I always get a little too excited at the beginning and stumble over my words, but it's
I
okay.
don't know if that was Matt's chair.
No, so, I'm sorry, I'm probably in your
He's taking a new
chair
chair.
here.
I took a new approach, Carol. I tried to summarize more of the book because I
Live streaming
knew
on YouTube.
plenty of people hadn't read
Yeah.
it.
Live.
Yeah.
live.
So I was
Live
jazzed
from the
up.
system lab in 360 glorious degrees.
Tired.
I did have to skin a
Mm-hmm.
little bit to get through it.
Trying to figure out a bit of a delay to
Yeah.
I'll figure that out. We really need
A little bit.
We need a high speed internet.
About 60 seconds.
Who's gonna be
were
on
there
that?
lots
I'm
of
probably
pieces left?
Huh?
Sure.
You're on.
I tried to summarize more of the book.
Is it too late for me? Oh,
Plenty of people hadn't read
Yeah.
it. I feel like you're supposed to warn people before you
Live from the
get.
system lab in 3 glorious degrees. Not going after the internet.
What are you
I did have to
taking?
skin a little bit.
Oh.
Not, you're on a bit of a,
Math
you people
report, yes.
really, Carolyn. You're not on the interweb. You're not
So
gonna be
we're
there.
recording all this for Omar.
Who's gonna be
Were
on
there
that?
lots of pieces left?
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe it'd be easier to
So, okay.
What we are meeting for is kind of a follow-up to,
I feel like you're supposed to warn people before.
well, a partial follow-up. There's, I think, probably the many follow-ups to a Monday meeting.
Oh.
And
Math report, yes. You're not on the interweb.
basically, this one
We've been recording all this.
everybody to kind of come up with and align on a way. Even though it's really quiet, I can follow up.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
Like you're supposed to.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I heard we were wasting time at Tide Table.
The Thai basically, this one.
Those two did.
Love it.
Makes me really want Thai food.
Anyways, the point of this meeting is to come up with and align on basically how are we assessing catheter, I'll say performance, just to keep it general, after a clinical use. So the clinical use really.
I heard we were wasting
handful.
time at Tide Table.
Basically reliability.
Those two did.
Right, so that's our three
Makes
things.
me really want Thai food.
Still, so right now we are measuring. Anyways, the acuity, right? So that was our. That's the basically our So one proposal would be that some of us have talked about along the way the last couple of days would be to we're gonna measure gain and coil offset. Basically take it back to the calibration station. So right now and ensure that gain and coil offsets still are in our range for that those specifications. So this wouldn't be like a comparison of before and after. It's just literally are they still. So I don't know if anything we'd be missing. I guess that's the question. Is there anything we'd be missing if we did that? Because that feels like if anything damaged it's usually games, we help with that. It would be outside of our game range that we have established. And same thing with coil offset, right? So that should be, we have a, I think our tolerance is 1.5 millimeters on that. So, if anything changes what we read out on the calibration station, that would be an indicator that the catheter is damaged. So I think that's really what we're looking for.
If anything
ensure-
changed outside of this section.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Because that one's unlikely to change really.
that one, yeah.
Is the only way I've seen it fail is if you have a shortage to the brain.
Yeah, right. But like the actual physical offset.
Right out on the calibration station. Yeah, so it would be an indicator that I think the catheter is correct.
So then we would cover overall
If anything
system
changed
accuracy,
outside
still at the system level testing.
Yeah.
But we would have tested 28 catheters in our mechanical DBA, so that I've seen it fail is still fixed. We don't think there's been damage in terms of calibration perspective. Just not taking it all the way to the accuracy. Same calibration.
Yeah.
So then we would cover
What are your
overall
thoughts?
system accuracy.
Something Adam was in here too.
We would have tested 28 catheters.
I know where he is. He was distracted right.
Oh, so they, shiny
What are
object.
you guys doing?
Laser.
Accuracy?
Questions about the windings, I like, just
Just
watch
not
that.
taking it.
Laser.
Oh, Bethany's back? Alright.
So then we would cover
Cool,
the
sure. New production
we would have
stuff.
tested 28 catheters. So
Yeah, what's your initial thought?
Shiny
What are
object.
you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm just trying to
accuracy,
formulate. I mean, we talked about this, trying to get myself centered a little bit. And, you know, the failure modes you mentioned, that's interesting too, because I don't see that part of it. So I'm trying to think that through. Certainly in the past, not that that's an indicator what we need to do. But we have run back and perform calibration. But nothing else.
Oh, and that's a good point. So Brett
Yeah, the
mentioned,
failure modes
Michael
mentioned
looked
that
back at what they did
it's
first
interesting
in the
to
Edge
see
report,
that
and what they did is they went back to the
Yeah, to think that through.
the
Again, the accuracy
calibration
certainly in the past.
calibration,
Yeah.
right? They did a calibration.
They
I mean,
recalibrated it?
I don't know that they stored it, but they got the cal measurements and ensured
Okay.
that they were still within
Yeah.
spec. So it wasn't like a cal test stop, right? So they took the
It's a similar process
Coefficients.
to test it and to
Oh.
calibrate it with red,
Okay.
so odds
Oh, and that's a good
it's
point.
more
So
forgiving to test it than it is to calibrate it. So if you were to
Right? They did a calibration. I mean, they seem like.
If you've got
that's
this with the edge,
Yeah.
I have an edge that, it looked like the coils have been rotated,
Okay.
and it would
I don't know
fail
that they
cal
stored
test.
it, but they
But
got
if you
the
recalibrated it, it
cal
would pass.
measurements and ensured
Okay.
that.
That's a
Because
good
it's like
point,
it's
yeah.
So it
different.
wasn't like a cal test.
And actually, I don't know if either at some point the coil assembly rotated, or the person that
Right,
did
they
the original
took the
calibration.
It's a
had
similar
coefficient.
process
Oh.
wrong. Calibrated.
angle.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe one of the things that's action, just describe that process.
Yeah, so what we're thinking is for mechanical DD, we want to be able to assess that after what we call our reliability test, which is really kind of the closest
If
thing
you've
to
got a-
clinical
like
use.
an edge,
So we're going through bronchoscope, through an
I
S
have an
curve.
edge that,
Anyways, so we want to establish that
looked like
after
rotated.
reasonable
Yeah.
use,
I don't know that they stored
that the catheter performance is still good.
Yep.
Still okay, right? Because we were planning on looking at continuity. It seems like that doesn't necessarily tell us that the performance is okay, right?
Yes.
So the thought was,
Because it's,
could we just take that back to the cal
and I actually don't
station
know if
and
either at some point
recalibrate? Not that you have to
the
burn it.
rotated
I mean,
or,
we could if we want, because it probably wouldn't matter at that point. But that you would record that your coil offset and your gain were within.
So we were thinking, so Frank made the curved catheter holder. So we were thinking about making a
Yeah, so
special test point
what we're thinking is for,
for curved catheter calibration test. Right, it's at a good location or
we wanna
whatever,
be able
so
to
another knows
sense it after.
and you could put it in there and we'd want it to be within a millimeter and, you know, like that kind of thing in the
Color
game.
reliability test.
You checked that the gain was similar to the gain that was on the
Wrong
EEPROM and
You're right, I
the
said that.
offset was similar to the.
Anyways, so we wanna establish that after.
So you're taking it to
I don't know that this.
a new level to do that.
Well, because the problem was if we use the current then
It's still okay, right? Because we were
You're
planning
trying
on
to-
looking at talking.
to stick the curved catheter.
That doesn't
into
necessarily
the-
tell us.
Yeah, so I was thinking that we would establish
The thought
that
was,
we essentially have a
should
picture
we just take that back to
take
the
our
calc
coil
and recalibrate? Not that you have to burn
that we
it,
do for
maybe
calibration
could if we want, because it probably
in a
wouldn't
straight
Yeah.
catheter.
but that you
Yeah,
would,
you could,
that would
yeah, so I was thinking
your
of something similar to
coil
that.
offset.
I was thinking maybe just off to like 1 square or 2 squares to the right.
But you're talking like
You're talking about looking at
calibration
location.
test,
I was just saying make a point that you go, is this catheter working? And you put in your curved catheter and then your holder, and it says, yeah, that one looks like it's
Giving you the right
still right
position.
in there.
But it's
Yeah.
still, so it's calibration test,
It would
it's
be a
not
new, yeah.
recalibrating for what?
Well, you're talking about recalibrating without writing. For these. And the thing I was
So we wanna
thinking is,
establish that
this might be
after.
the
You're
step
taking it
towards
to
calibrating
the
the post curve. Well, because the problem was if the catheter.
It's still okay, right?
Yeah,
We were planning on
yeah, right,
Right.
because you'd have to develop that picture.
So I was thinking eventually.
Yeah.
I was thinking that we
Maybe
would
calibration
establish
points for
the
each
thought
gate
would be
or whatever.
should we just take that back to our coil and recalibrate? Not that you have to burn it,
So it's testing one point, good enough.
but that you
Yeah, you
would,
could,
that would
yeah, so I was thinking
And
something
from a
similar.
different perspective.
I was thinking, well, we would be looking at not
that
just the
would not
position,
happen.
we'd also be looking at the game.
You're talking about looking at location.
You would, so what would you compare the gain to?
The
current
game's
cal
written on the
test?
holder.
Does current cal test do that?
And it says, yeah, that one looks
be in the right
like this. So
position.
we'd
Sounds
say,
like it's
yeah.
still, so it's calibration test,
It would be a new.
could like,
Yeah.
could just be calibration, since we already have that developed. Would that be adequate as well?
What do you think, yeah, what are,
And
what
the-
are
the thing
your,
is,
So we wanna establish that.
So if
but what do
you
you,
don't
what do you
know-
think we're missing if we just do calibration? Do you think we're missing?
I don't know, so, if you come back after you must put it around or
Yeah, I
whatever,
was thinking.
and the gain is a lot different, that tells me that we've kind of messed with our sensor.
So testing, that's why we wanted.
But isn't the gain just plus or minus 10%, 0.4?
Oh, but that's how much we, right, yeah. Oh, but I was gonna say compare, not to the theoretical amount or whatever, but we calibrated this catheter, the same as we got before. How different are we now from what
The
we-
challenge in that comes into the variation of the system itself. We're trying
Right.
to
The
separate,
variation in the original calibration. Could just,
so you, when you add in all of that, exactly.
there
Well, then
is
it's
gonna be a plus or
what's the
minus.
threshold, and what's the,
Yeah.
yeah, it would be something we'd have to develop, right, to see how reproducible.
So what do you think
are.
we're missing?
So I guess, is it possible that
So,
the catheter would change and still, or catheter, something would happen such that it's not accurate anymore, but we could still pass our calibration threshold? Because
Because
if if it gets damaged, then it's gonna really fail our gain limit or fail the offset. Then there's no need to like put a second spec on how much it's really gonna change if these passes are
Yeah.
failed.
Oh, but I was gonna say compare, so, the software is set up to do this already. So right now, what we do is, we have, how different are we now? You choose what your angle is, and it says go to this cal point,
The variation of this.
right? And so we've got a.
We're trying to separate.
What's perfect, yep. So if we
And when
wanted
you
to,
add in all of
if we
that,
wanted to have everything be identical, we could still do the curve and not just, we could just check position.
yeah.
So, in our current point of test, what's the criterion for passing?
What do you
Seems like it's
So I guess, is it possible
Right,
that
because we were,
the change would still,
yeah, it's like
or catheter,
1.5
something would happen
millimeters or
such that
something
it's
like
not
that.
accurate anymore, but we can still.
So would you
pass
anticipate
or-
it?
1.5, oh no, on the, how,
Oh,
for
we're
the
talking
for
about
the
cal
test.
Cause if,
Oh,
if that's
Caltech
the
is
cutoff.
much bigger.
Cal test.
Caltech is much larger.
And that's what's given me pause in the past is that when you have such
If
a
it gets
wide.
damaged, then it's
Right, it
gonna
doesn't-
fail
Yeah,
our
what you
gain
catch.
limit or
What are you really finding?
Well, part of, and we've kind of like decided that the Cal test as it is not really representative.
Right, it's partially catching,
Yeah.
it used to catch big, huge
Shaft
parasitic coils.
Yeah.
That's really what it was. When we made it, it was like find the soldering angry stuff, right? And now it's a big part of what it's capturing is that shaft. Right, right.
Which is
So,
different.
a different problem.
Right,
Right.
What if we,
So the Cal test point is really good for,
Well, and that's what worries me about establishing another point. Is we don't really have a criterion for what would be good and what would be bad. It's a great process, developmental thought process in terms of, yeah, this is a particular way we want to check calibration, this is how we do
we could
it.
still do.
But we're kind of like one or two steps ahead of it.
Yeah.
The team wants to be able to take and run, take a device, know that it's good,
Oh, no, on the.
run a test, and then verify it's still good.
Right, and this happens with
And then there's another branch on that tree that says,
And that's what's
Cal
given me
rate,
pause in the past.
accuracy test.
When you have such a
Right.
wide.
And those two correlates, right?
Yeah.
So through those kind of mechanisms, whether they're serial or
Kind of like
I vision them as different
Cal
branches.
test as it
That's
is,
how you're
it's
building
not
up confidence, so that by the time you get to that process,
Right, it's partially catching,
you can
to
do
get rid of the
tests
big,
like you're
huge
suggesting,
Yeah, parasitic.
Yeah.
where you
That's really
by
what it
by
is.
virtue of
Well,
calibrating and
it's
then
like
testing a known
finding
position, you
soldering
know,
angry stuff.
okay, you have a
And
good
now,
confidence that you'll be
It's,
able to.
a big part of what it's capturing is that shaft.
So I think what you're suggesting is valid.
Which is,
What I'm not sure about is that something that we try to do with TV or is that
so the Cal test.
low TV? What's yours about establishing another point? We don't really have a criterion for what would be good and what would be bad. It's a great process.
So it's a, we can put it in the current fixture. Right. So yeah, so the problem right now with using the current fixture is when we
And then
put
there's
the shape
another
catheter
branch
in the
that
current
says,
fixture,
calibrate.
because it's 180 degrees, the shaft is all the way across.
So through those kind of
Right, and that's,
I vision them.
oh yeah,
So
and
you're
it's
building
like the game
confidence
man.
so that by the time you get to the process,
It's partially catching.
you can
Right, and so that's all
test
it's
like you're
trying
supposed to
to.
do, where you
So it would be
Could
the-
we like
calibrating
work it
and
up?
testing a known position.
Like,
you
what do
can
you mean
do
the
that.
current position for
So if you put
calibration?
it, if you put it, if you did a 180
Yeah, because it's
catheter,
running the opposite way.
the handle is on the other
I
side
think
of
what you're
the.
suggesting is valid.
We could try.
Is that something that you calibrate with TV or is that?
So the Cal test.
Or you would just re-reference the current.
So it's a, we can put it in the current. So the Mark sensor calibration test. Yeah. Was that the config file? So the problem right now, here's the menu and you're gonna go choose
you know, whatever we call it, engineering test, or EV test, or whatever. And I think, I mean, it's something we gotta do at some point, we wanna get to where calibrating our calibrators.
Like maybe in the current position.
So really the only thing that will stand up is the calibrators. The handles on the other side. We could try.
So you're changing fixture to allow you to do that?
The new fixture holds the RDWC. Yeah.
You just calibrate,
Sensor
flip,
calibration.
calibrate, and then cal test or whatever, at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Thought.
Well, we would, well,
But then-
or maybe we would learn something before we commit to doing curve stuff. We could, like, hey, let's see how well we can, I mean, it's something we get accurately. It's great.
No, I'm not sure. What are you thinking?
Oh, I think just making a cal test, you know, like, run through the caster and get us to the right thing. Pretty quick and easy. Right, changing calibration around.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more.
Yeah, I get you. Okay.
And so if we could.
But that's, okay, so I'm still pushing on this confidence, you know, or threshold thing. So you get to that point, how close do you have to be? You're not gonna be within a few millimeters. Or you would, when you go to that point.
Yeah, so maybe we would learn. Fixture holds it pretty tight. How do you, hey, let's see how well we can. We'd have to register. So what the next generation of the folder, I think just making a count Frank probably made on his future children, that he was gonna put some marks on it so we could, precisely place. Just a little bit more.
Yeah, I get it.
And so if we could,
Yeah. Okay, so I'm still reading on this
we'd have to
threshold thing.
to
You
get
get to
the
that point, how close?
half-millimeter accuracy, we have to register.
Sorry, and what, you asked for what other process? All process? Or same water?
Holds it pretty tight.
Same water for calibration?
Different for
No, this will be a
calibration.
different little, the curve calibration block.
It would be different than
the industry
So
calibration.
you're still proposing, he's proposing this fixture only to run the calibration test? Not to run the calibration goals.
I wanted to see how it works, and we'll see how accurate it is, and people it is. And then we can decide if we want to. Because in some sense, calibrating code curves will perhaps even be more accurate than street No, this will be a different, no, it's gonna make it, it's gonna have a straight plot. Yeah, so it's gonna make a straight plot, and then there's 45, and then 90.
So what if we calibrated using cal testers actually?
I wanted to see how accurate it is. Oh, we did
Curve that goes in this block, it's cal testers run that through our set, and that's what the same
because in
block.
some sense, calibrating code curves,
But I think the problem, to Keith's point, is we still, it would be a decent amount of work to define that cal test, and we were kind of hoping to do that after you.
so it's gonna make it, it's gonna have a straight plot.
So I guess, I think the question is like, can we just instead run calibration? A little bit more accuracy, but less precision, but, or do we really need to develop cal tests to satisfy our requirements?
What if we felt like
But I think the
there
problem,
was a reason that we
Keith's
couldn't
point is we
just
still,
do
it would be
a
a
recalibration?
decent amount of work
Because
to
you really feel
define
like you
that
have
cal
to go
test,
position
and
and
we
recal.
have to do that
Well,
again.
that wasn't that your point about the, you curve this and you get different?
So, I guess, but I think the question is like, because we have that calibrated curve captures on the current picture, and they do pass the criteria, like they show
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
identical tip offset with then test variation. And I think gain did change slightly, so that makes sense.
Because-
Coming from
We could look at it and see what the, see how the tolerance is.
We have some old data from it in there, but I gave some
Right, and we weren't where we were putting the, because our table doesn't have that size. Right, and we were, is where we were holding the handle wasn't the same.
think we had Frank's
I think
sitting
so.
next to it.
To me, that seems like, I think even recalibrating, there's a little risk to dot exercise. If you calibrate at 4.39, when you recalibrate, you could hit. Right? If you're right on that edge, you could recalibrate it and it would
True, hopefully our,
variability. So that's one reason I mentioned about that Cal test, and the LG side of it, the screen is a little bigger. I think even recalibrating is a little risky. So, but I think it's worthwhile and probably the lower exercise, given the other constraints we have about not knowing what the process pass fail criteria may be. I think if you have devices that go set at present, and then you take more data at these points you're suggesting, that's gonna help you get the proper variability. That's gonna help you define patterns. And so I think that's the next step, or one of the next steps, after just, hey, we calibrated it. And I think we could also squint at it from an engineering perspective and go, went from lower tier to lower tier. The other constraints we have about serious there. Still pass, but at least from the point of walking before you're running, this gives you a way to kind of repeatedly go forward in a batch of passes and do.
So the other parameter was then before you do any demo, they often go, hey, this thing worked. So if we have,
Cal test, you mean, or the
right, so, yeah, so we go do a cal test.
Do you think it would be,
No, the test.
I think for engineering evaluation, that's totally fine. But when you're in the DD mode, there's no way to do it. You gotta have it nailed down. And really, the way our criterion is,
So the other
for that, you only cook above speed, or you're gonna do
test
well, right? So if there's any kind of disturbance, like I was saying, even these that maybe potentially fail, you're gonna have to have that rationale that they have order line.
well, what if, yeah, so what if, in that situation, what if it catheters that, say catheters fail, can we, would it be legit when we, in our spec, if it fails it, to take it to an
I think you should be able to retest everything n number of times, and then that is a fallback we have. But our almost accuracy variability is relying a lot on features being available. Is it gonna be available? I'm not sure.
I mean, each person is different slightly on the accuracy test.
yeah, I think it's okay, I'm just making sure.
But
and I think
usually
that's a lot
where
better.
you test it, they're not gonna give you
I think it's gotten much more consistent about it. Like, we have a better sense of what gain form
You could always flag it on the line
It's like I do think you could rationalize it was if it was just on the edge of the same offset, it can easily probably be attributed to the repeatability of calibration or calibration.
But if you, like, when we had those ordinal versions it was like tip offset of like 10 or something.
It's like I do think you could
What are the setting margins? Like for my, what are you using to get
Coil distortion, is that,
Open.
does that change the gain? I mean, what
So we would know opens and from whoever was monitoring the
Shorting coil. That's mainly shorts and then say that
shouldn't't't be different
in the past, you it works
Stick something in it, flexing it to get a littlee gap in between the poles. It would kind of, if you plotted it over timee, it would degrade on workinging, and so it would kind of be way, but carry that thought throughhhhhhh so on the gain of way to make it so I can't remember if it's an 8th or a 10th,
not by 10%,
well, it's the sensorsors like if it might say, here in the sensor point The other thing we just talked about this way. The other thing we use for the game is tool gameing, but that's not off of the gameing right now.
if we we're we we and nothing is ever going to touch the EEPROM, and physicallyally the not doesn't'thherherrrr it back in your calibration Like, let's off, So the system is always going to use that as the offset. The
So
what are we really trying to measure
measure
Yeah.
I guess it would be failure the information of the capacitor in a different way, like you know what I mean, like you'rell able to look you're ableableed you're ablele to change your gain a whole bunch.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't't necessarily realize to change the gain, which is why I thought I chose the to Which is probably worth pointing out, but so my understanding.
Well, so that's what we do, because we get rid of,
Which is probably worth pointing out, but so much for my off by factor of pound.
Right, so to say that's the off by factor of pounding.
It's not realize.
if Rightght,